Apple's March events are traditionally the company's first major product introductions of the year. However, while Apple's product introductions are usually spectacular, the March event is usually one of the most low-key events. That means you shouldn't expect to see flagship model iPhones, Apple Watches, or game-changing new Macs revealed at the March 2022 Apple event. Welcome to Tech Heaven, and in this video we'll see everything you need to know about Apple's upcoming March 2022 event. Following a long time of hibernation, Apple's spring event is now expected to take place on Tuesday, March the 8th, where Apple is expected to release new low-cost 5G iPhones and iPads. Apple Incorporated is likely to launch a new low-cost iPhone and an improved iPad in the event, kicking off what might be a record-breaking year for product announcements, according to persons familiar with the matter. We expect 3 major products to be announced during Apple's March presentation. Apple, as usual, does not divulge anything ahead of time, so keep in mind that these are educated assumptions based on leaks and industry chatter. None of these will make your heart skip a beat, yet they will all be essential launches. The iPad Air, a fantastic mid-range tablet that was mysteriously ignored for the entire year of 2021, is expected to be refreshed. We don't expect many modifications to the iPad Air, but there will be a few upgrades which are mentioned in this video. The iPad Air is likely to look exactly like the present tablet with no visible design changes. It's probable that Apple will add new color options to differentiate the revised versions from the current iPad Air, which is available in silver, space gray, rose gold, green, and sky blue. The iPad Air, like the iPad Pro, has an all-display design, although it lacks Face ID. Apple instead uses a Touch ID power button for authentication. Touch ID will remain on the tablet, which will have a 10.9-inch display and a USB-C connection. While no physical changes are planned, the iPad Air will incorporate capabilities initially seen in the iPad Mini 6, its sister tablet. The new iPad Air, like the latest iPad Mini, will include a 5G processor that will allow it to connect to 5G networks. Because the processor in the iPad Mini is limited to sub-6 GHz 5G networks rather than the fastest millimeter wave 5G networks, we may see the same constraint in the iPad Air, although this is not assured. Sub-6 GHz 5G is the more commonly available variant of 5G, which can be found in cities, suburbs, and rural regions throughout the United States and other nations, whereas millimeter wave 5G is more limited in availability and range. AT&T and Verizon have recently expanded their 5G networks with C-band spectrum, which boosts the availability of millimeter wave networks in the United States. Thus, Apple may take this into consideration while updating the iPad Air. The iPad Air is expected to receive the same 6-core A15 CPU as the iPad Mini 6 and the iPhone 13 range. Apple downclocked the A15 chip in the iPad Mini to 2.9 GHz rather than 3.2 GHz as it does in the iPhone, but it's unclear whether the same clock speed will be employed in the iPad Air. The iPad Mini's CPU performance will be 2 to 8% slower than the iPhone 13 due to the downclocked A15 chip, but it will be an upgrade over the A14 chip in the current model. According to rumors, the iPad Air will have an improved 12-megapixel ultra-wide front camera that will operate with center stage, a feature initially seen on the iPad Pro and iPad Mini 6. Center stage is a FaceTime feature that keeps you in focus and ideally framed while on a video conversation. The wide-angle front-facing camera reveals more of the space you're in, while the iPad CPU tries to keep you front and center even as you move about. If more than one person is on the call, the camera will zoom out to ensure that everyone is visible and included in the conversation. Center Stage was created with FaceTime in mind, but it also works with other third-party video apps such as Zoom. The rear camera is believed to remain a single-lens system, though Apple may include a quad-LED True Tone flash, which would be a new inclusion given the current iPad Air lacks a flash option. We don't foresee any additional significant changes to the iPad Air. Because the body design remains unchanged, we're unlikely to see any big changes to the battery life. The price of the iPad Air is not expected to change, and will most likely be the same as the present iPad Air. Existing models start at $599 for 64 GB of storage and go up to $749 for 256 GB. We haven't heard any speculations about storage changes, and the iPad Mini 6 comes with 64 GB of storage as standard. The new iPhone SE, however, will be the king of smart product introductions. The iPhone SE is popular for a reason, and that reason is its low price. Most people will buy your phone if you cut the price. Apple does not give the SE much attention because the firm would plainly rather sell $1,000 phones than $400 phones. And part of the company's sell is the great lifestyle fantasy it has built around its goods, which you can't push as much with budget devices. Journalists, on the other hand, are frequently pulled by the enticing appeal of the new, which the SE is unlikely to satisfy. Customers, on the other hand, adore it. So, while the iPhone 14 will garner more attention and column inches, the new SE will have a greater impact on a greater number of consumers. Aside from performance improvements magnified by the lengthy time since the last upgrade and access to the most recent versions of iOS, this will be the first 5G handset that many people will be able to purchase. When combined with the infrastructure upgrades we've seen since the first compatible phones arrived, the SE update might mark the single largest increase in 5G usage we've yet seen. Assuming Apple keeps the new SE around $400, the company will have another massive hit on its hands. Apple has an unusual connection with low-cost products. It doesn't refer to them in those terms, presumably out of fear of ruining the previously mentioned lifestyle fantasy, and often appears embarrassed to discuss them at all. The lowest option in Apple's stable is often a mid-range offering for the average buyer. The iPhone 5C surprised many people who expected it to be inexpensive. However, the company was formed with the goal of bringing technology to everyone. The Apple One was built because I intended to give it out for free to other people, according to Steve Wozniak. The Macintosh was intentionally designed to be cheap to the public, even if it didn't quite work out that way. Apple has always told itself, whether or not the rest of us believe it, that its aim is to make high-quality products available to as many people as possible. At $699, it's difficult to argue that even the most basic version of the iPhone 13 mini is affordable to everyone, and most of us don't have the money to upgrade our phones every year. The iPhone debuts at the end of each year and provides exciting theater, but the SE is the most important of them. According to the insiders, in addition to introducing new goods, the company intends to release iOS 15.4 in the first half of March. A software update will provide Face ID functionality for people wearing masks to iPhones and iPads, making it easier for customers to unlock their devices. It also contains new emoji and universal control, which enables customers to utilize a single keyboard and trackpad across several iPads and Macs. The iPhone 14 and new Macs are expected to be announced during a number of autumn keynotes. The 2022 range is projected to include new iMac and Mac Pro desktops, a redesigned MacBook Air, an updated low-end MacBook Pro, 3 Apple Watches, 4 iPhone 14 variations, and new AirPods. The company is also developing new services, such as a feature that lets the iPhone accept payments by simply tapping a credit card. So buckle up, leave your money at the door, and prepare for sensible spring. It's going to be a pleasant ride. And with that being said, it's time to end our video. Are you excited for Apple's March 2022 event? Let us know in the comments. Like this video and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos like this. We'll see you in the next video.